Is your student nearing college age and you are freaking out about how to pay for it? You're not alone, but maybe you are considering starting to save. Maybe you're thinking, oh, I don't know if it's even worth it at this point because we're so close to it. And some people started when they had their baby. But the good news is that it's actually never too late. In fact, every penny that you can save can be a penny less that they have to borrow. So in today's video, we are going to share how to maximize savings, how to make the most of savings, even if you're getting a late start on paying for college. I'm going to share some quick tips that can actually save your student thousands of dollars over the course of a school year or even a semester, and what you and your student can do with any kind of money that you can put away for paying for school. Now, make sure you hit subscribe because every single week we release a new strategy on paying for college, including ways to cut costs so that maybe you even need to save less or to get scholarships so that you don't need to save at all. But that said, make sure you hit subscribe because every single week it's a new strategy. Hey there, my name is Jocelyn Pearson, founder of the Scholarship System, where we redefine paying for college to help families build strong financial futures rather than ones that are riddled in student loan debt. Now, this topic is near and dear to my heart because I know that parents want to help, they're just not sure how. And so after today's video, you're going to have some clear steps on how you can help your student, again, even if you feel like you're a little late in the game. So most parents want to set aside money for their child when it comes to paying for college, but it's just not always possible. Or maybe it wasn't possible, but now it is, and they are within a year, or maybe they're already at college. Whatever it is, no matter what, if you are able to put even a few dollars aside a month, that is still something to be proud of and something that can absolutely help your student. Any money that can be contributed, even if it's month by month, that can help avoid student loan debt or minimize how much they have to borrow, or it could minimize how much you're going to have to maybe borrow from your own retirement fund or something like that, which we do not want to do. Before I really get into what to do with savings, I do want to say that scholarships are an amazing opportunity here. If your student can work on scholarships, which is debt-free money that doesn't have to be paid back for college, then that might alleviate some of the pressure you're feeling around having to put money aside to pay for college, or it could help the money that you're putting aside for college last longer throughout the school years, which means it might give it time to grow. Maybe they can wait until senior year to use it, and that might give us a few years for it to grow in the savings vehicles I'm going to talk about. So whatever it is, no matter what, scholarships are helpful and students can apply to them all the way through their college years. So if you are passionate about helping your student pay for college, one of the biggest things you can do to help them in that is push them to do those scholarships and do them well. So that said, I'm going to get into 3 main tips on how to help your family save even if it's last minute. But before that, I do want to point out we have a free training below on how to pay for college with scholarships. It's my 6 steps to securing scholarships. You can find the link in the description once we finish this video, or you can go to thescholarshipsystem.com/free training in another tab. Make sure you finish watching this video before you move on to that. But that free training will get you and your students started on securing scholarships. Okay, let's get into my 3 tips. So the first tip, and this is one that is very important, is around what to do with the money, and that is to invest smart. So an average savings account might not have really any kind of benefits as far as a high interest rate that would make it worthwhile to put some money into. Ideally, you want to look into some investments opportunities such as 529 plans. There might be tax benefits if you're putting money in that. There can be tax benefits on withdrawing the money versus, say, putting the money in a normal investment account. And some states have perks as well if you use their 529 plan. We have separate videos on 529s, especially if you're in our program Debt-Free Degree Lab. We have a whole mini lesson on 529s where we brought in a financial advisor. But that said, before doing anything with investments, please speak to your financial advisor. You always want to have someone certified to validate what your plan is, where you're putting the money, how long it'll be locked in for, and what kind of investments you want to put it into. Now, comment below, do you have a 529 plan for your student or students, or are you looking into starting one? Let me know in the comments below and we can reply back with some extra tips if you do leave us a comment below. Now, when it comes to investing, you'll see that you can put the money into stocks, mutual funds. These, of course, are higher risk. You have CDs, which are certificate of deposits. These are typically lower interest rates, but they are locked in for longer terms. There are CDs where the money is not locked in. You can actually withdraw it anytime, but most of the time there is a certain time frame where you can't touch that money. So if it's money that you're going to need soon or you might need soon, then CDs are probably going to be limited as far as the ideal solution for putting the money into when it comes to paying for college, but again, it could be an option. There are money markets which have variable rates and no maturity date like CDs, but again, no matter what the investment vehicle is that you're choosing, run it by your financial advisor, and again, you always want to make sure that you have someone validate what you're doing unless you are an expert in this. Now, the other thing I want to point out here is just a general rule of thumb. The closer your student is to needing the money, the less risky you want to play. So we do not want to be investing in risky stocks with money that we need in the next year. That's just asking for trouble. We never want to gamble away our students' savings. So again, talk to your financial advisor. Any financial advisor you speak to should align with that in the sense that the closer we are to college years, the less risky we need to get. It's the same thing like the aged retirement funds, where as you get closer and closer to retirement, they move less and less in risky stocks and maybe closer to bonds or CDs, other things like that are less risky. So that is just an important rule of thumb to keep in mind. Now, the second tip is to set up an automatic draft. So automatic drafts are powerful vehicles when it comes to saving because it just moves the money rather than it being in your account and you accidentally spending it. Having that auto draft set up the day you get your paycheck, maybe it's the 1st and the 15th, if you know you can put that money aside, just have it automatically moved into wherever it needs to go. A lot of the 529 savings plans have an option for this, so you can just automatically send the money into the plan. So you can do this weekly, you can do this with your paychecks, you can do it monthly, quarterly, however your budget looks, whatever makes the most sense. If it's auto drafted, the chances of you doing it are, of course, way higher than if you had to manually go in and transfer the money. Now, any kind of one-off gifts, maybe it's your student's birthday and they get a big chunk of money from people and they want to put it to that, then that can go and be at a one-off time. You don't have to do it with the auto drafts, but at least then you have that auto draft set up. Okay, and the third tip around this is to set priorities. So if you are short on time, then decide how much really can go towards paying for college. Remember that every little bit counts. Even if it's $20 a week, you just say, you know what, I'm going to avoid eating out once a week, and for the family, that actually could be way more than $20. But if you can say, you know what, we're going to put that money towards the savings instead, that is fantastic. Even if it's $20 a week or $50 a month, any little bit can make a difference. Then take a look at your family's budget. Where do you think that you can trim? Where can you make cuts in order to put that money towards college and investing? Maybe instead of coffee or eating out, like I said, you can make it at home. Or maybe you have cable and you actually don't really watch it. That could be a big chunk of money that you can free up and put towards college. And it could just be temporarily. It could just be while they're in college. Okay, for 4 years, we're going to do this. We're going to scrounge. We're going to cut costs and put that money in towards college. But then after 4 years, we can live it up. We'll free that back up and we can go back to it. But this is something to keep in mind. Can you skip Netflix for a few months? Or here's a big one. What expenses are you currently paying for your student that you will no longer be paying once they get to college? So maybe this savings opportunity or these budget cuts won't happen before they get to school, but maybe you know that while they're in school, you could contribute whatever the equivalent would be that you're going to save on groceries. I know for those of you that have teen boys, you probably are looking forward to not having to constantly fill the fridge with more and more food or the cabinet with snacks for them, but that is money that you're saving. So can you just put put that towards their college. Or maybe it's sports or activity fees or gas money. Maybe you're driving them around a lot. What do you think you'll be saving each month when they're gone? Maybe it's utilities. And can you put that towards their savings? So again, remember, it's never too late. So you could do these as long as they're in college. It doesn't have to be before college necessarily. Now, the last point I want to make with getting setting those priorities is getting your family on board. This has to be a priority for everyone. Everyone has to agree. Everyone has to feel good about it. Sure, maybe it's not ideal. We'd love to instead just keep the cable subscription or whatever it is. But if everyone can agree, hey, this is a sacrifice we want to make right now so that we can avoid decades of student loan debt, it will be a lot easier to do rather than one person pushing this on everyone and them not really supporting it. Now, for more tips, we have a blog with 8 tips for parents on getting started when it comes to being late with paying for college. We have 8 tips on that blog. Again, we'll link to it in the description below, along with that free training I shared about finding scholarships so that hopefully we can actually just minimize how much we need to put away in the first place. So that said, again, it's never too late. It's never too early when it comes to savings. Every penny counts. And when you can put money to the side, you do want it to grow and work for you if you have the time. But please, please run it by a financial advisor so that you do not risk losing the money, but you do maximize opportunities to have it grow for you. All right, I hope this video was helpful. If it was, make sure you hit subscribe because every single week we're releasing a new strategy on paying for college. And lastly, comment below if you have any questions at all. Maybe we'll take one of your comments and turn it into next week's video. All right, I'll see you there.